Now the pictures and the videos. So this is what happened in court. Kennedy Agyapong, you see during the hearing, no, Okojunso 10 times. Obano anumusio Kennedy ay frail, why mre. Onantia no you saying. Ohun di onfe. The nisu brino. Kennedy Agyapong, you see in the court. Insue otusu baba go no ada no Okojunso no aba. Sikeni bele. Junso hini esikeni bele. Otigana yenkanasem kwasiasam. And the America court, ye piano question down. We ought to be Ghana court, no did judge at him. Near so so, oh, Mr. Kennedy, oh, honorable. America court, pure water near seven. America court, Kennedy Agyapong, pure water near the man is a no, or to down Sakoko. Ma catch a Ghana for. Sanko for Namusa so Ghana na, Obaba Muda Damono. They are nobody in America, they are nobody in Europe and America. They are nobody. And Akwa Kennedy was suppressing the power chronim, Ghana chronim. And or to down Yaman pure water. My mention of more pictures from court today. We have a video. This is a year they see what court and the Kennedy near na case in the course not OTA. My mention Joe Markesia Kesium, send a bear bloggers in Benya BBD. Kennedy near case na course on the a year court. Kennedy Agyapong ete wo no ne lawyer ne siri trase omutumu se mu ayedin $18 million eka eda Kennedy tiri so $18 million na no kasa eni nyome bi a oye otigana ena omu frustrating kofo omu the court epopo kofo. The same case in Ghana we wini Ghana judges atam case na man so we wini Obedru America osade sa case na ba say me wini case ni o Ghana and America court said dabi. The na ekoso o Ghana no sebio no mu bonkuro. This is Kennedy. The lawyer sorry kasa emfa. Boga yemre ye jujum me ma bloggers. The lawyers na kasa no e defend no emfa Kennedy so neto no ye pia na hye Showdown, I am re. Showdown, at court, why din. Judge be anywhere o nimuno. Eye clerk be anywhere o nimuno. Bailiff be anywhere o nimuno. Sa court way, enya ho na kwaka, do you know who I am? Or do you know me? I say Yanka, do you know me? Do you know me? Haven't you heard about my name? If you don't take care, you take care. Sadia de bini America court, e bini ho. It read my lips and then nakotena kwanchen where Superior Court of New Jersey and young kwanchen court. We any in some course or quarter me ma gallery ni kakra. Akaboga nkwa ne lawyer ba ko no yehu me bia wafa. Enti ene da ho no New Jersey Superior Court Kennedy Agyapong ene yemia na hyenchen no ontumi kasa boga yemre onim obi a akwa hunahuna no akoye do you know me? Don't you know I am Akompre ku Kennedy Agyapong? Unim se me free fosu. I am the MPP financier ejuma ba enam da pono so ne ntwe na bowe woso kwa wi akokokon Kennedy 18 million at that table so also per 9.5 million meme 9 million the other day ne ntwe na bo table no so no wi a woso pa akokokon and the anas akoku ne ntwe abro anas say 18 million ne ntwe we ne ntwe na obo we Kennedy ese ebe wi akokon ne kon obi say judgment today say na heaven be you ebeka obiane ne lawyer judgment today no heaven say ya o ebeka obiane ne lawyer but there say lawyer ko fum na ka go out to I heaven say ya the be no be can judgment today ebe say obiane ne lawyer oto abo so lawyer oh I'm urinating I'll be back fum no afa second door no awuram now that want to watch lawyer judgment today say ya the be ebeka obiane ne lawyer okay we air court exclusive na me de mamu no Kennedy Agyapong ete wo no ai ekoso court wo orkodo 18 million showdown ne ntwe ne bo ho no Kennedy so pa akokokon the showdown and ye piano ko si enchen mom yenko enim gallery na ekoso no afira de se boga tene kire sa akonwa no so obi atene makotene kire na se emu aye din boga kana no esi so read my lips boga reading lips no say oh so boga kana no esi so aye saying na say eya giegu $18 million hit $18 million ya de apim Kennedy also tia ana asekura bo no me bo besia ana asekura me ho kire me ti besia also me bo besia pe 500k ma me fanya me nyoma anas utieti lawyers nyina wi 500k die wan fa ma me dia me no ba ku bewu enti boga read my lips and waka lips na sisi no wakotena nchen why say you say ni bra ba me de me yakote beka me kote ye and me the evidence be kiro because when you say ebi mo ho magimi Kevin Taylor boa otan Kennedy we anya me Kennedy asemo Kennedy ni Anas na Anas e win $18 million they see o court no and me de kiro enye bosremu ka me ma blog is eduane edi Kennedy hun sensem part 1 and 2 now ekoso Kennedy Agyapong niana okasa nka onkodi MP no onie ono se court we see the trase ekaba akoko kontwa apetire ni tiesi form Kennedy niani nie we na not radio so ye Kennedy will contest the 2028 elections onie we see the trase mebra die no akofa be kakra ya isi ye nende o me rekoma Anas akudi ase no obema Kevin Taylor 500,000 enti Kennedy nuane nie we na okopri seat na ya nto ama no omo nka no kre de otieche o de minim ebia omo busu apenya na sankofo no ebia omo wo African market ni bi no ai enti Kennedy nuane so nie we si ni trase ye bo 80 million so no we si ni trase say titi wo bi ka titi wo bi kire now niniano still out to me say na why mre eduru baby no Kennedy nuano you can see amabaju kromu nyiye pressure ba this year court season me so me ba be court omo mu defame me me lawyer defame judge in America. I am going to court. Now let's watch a video. They see our court time and a judge and a catcher Kennedy say he has the right to take the next action.
Okay, so
we're exclusive. Uhuno baby, it's all on this platform. Meboni nyina mo ahwe. Introduce some time I more understand that this platform is huge. Mashada. Bloggers ni pekakra ko didi. Mitisi yo mo twa ye ko didi. Da be munya wote say. Enti court no Kennedy. Mr. Arim Yaw Anas. Kennedy lawyers. Anas lawyers. And you could see, Metro, I'll show you the video. And that's what transpired. And this footage, from Anas, they were given the permission to film what happened in court. Court season 1. It may be sure what actually happened. Kennedy the Sheblusha no Jina Kona Hona, kana asama chren se. Asam ya kewie. Ye dieti yaw. Uwo bibia ye. Inti, this is an exclusive video. Hankwana be huno anywhere else on any platform. Also, who say I the first place who's a video no. I need to ask my team first if I should go ahead and show the video again. Team. No. I've spoken to Omoteki footage. We got our team to go in there. We wrote a permission, and then they gave us the permission to film. Inti, whatever you are seeing, exclusive footage. No. We have done that clearance, Mr. S. Now let's go back and watch.
Okay, so the court's decision, if we start at the end, the court is denying a request for mistrial, and everyone can file motions at the appropriate time, and the court will address everything after the motions are filed appropriately and then responded appropriately. Does anyone have any questions about anything?
No, Your Honor. Thank you so much.
Okay. Good luck to everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for coming on the record.
So there's one thing you need to take notice of. Anas was still wearing nose mask in court. But over Ghana, judge to meet Tanaka says Anas saying nose mask na yendi asem. You see the difference. You see how our judiciary in Ghana. You see how our judiciary in Ghana, how bad some of our judges are. The judge sitting in that courtroom in New Jersey is looking at the facts and evidence before him. How you dress to court is up to you. It is your presentation in court. How the jury will see you. Whether you wear a nose mask or not, at the end of the day, it is your case, the substantive case, your evidence is what they are looking at. Because they are dealing with the law. They are not looking at individuals. Anything about Krumha, the law itself is blind. It does not look at faces, background, economically where you are coming from, or financial, or whatever. It's looking at the case, the law. They are applying it. So whether somebody is dread, whether somebody is wearing a nose mask, whether somebody is wearing a face shield, what is more important to the jury and the judge is that look at the evidence before you. Look at it and apply the law and let's see. But don't say, Senya Omubu Asemgu Anas so Ghana was that. It wasn't the substantive issue Anas had brought to court. Anas trying to defend himself. In Ghana, the Edibuati Anas say, yes, nose mask be, Anas face mask be. Say Anas say, yeah. That means Anas is guilty. This is where we are as a nation. Judge to me say, because of face mask, nose mask, because I want you to look in a certain way in my court. If you don't look that way, I am going to call you a criminal. I am going to label you a criminal. That is the danger in our judiciary. And that is what we need to look at. Are we looking at a substantive case that is before us as judges, as judiciary, or we are looking at the characters or the individuals standing before us? And when you go to Ghana, the judiciary today look at the people involved in the case than the case itself. And that is the beginning of our end. And that is what is running this country down. Our biggest problem in Ghana today is that when judges sit in courtrooms, they are looking at the individuals involved, not the substantive case before them. It is all come back now. Check it. Case I say Anas Lucy against Techi against Kennedy Agyapong. Now you will see, say it is not about the evidence that was provided or was given in court. The judge now or the court case now odi asemno. He's looking more at how to unmask Anas, and this is how they have destroyed Ghana. Anas instructed to testify without mask. The evidence that has been provided, what do you need mask for? This is Ghana court. And this is how they use the law to destroy lives in Ghana. And see, for a very long time, we made the judiciary look like, say, Nyankopon, we cannot question the judiciary. We cannot question their conduct. We cannot even question their biasness. And that is what some young judges who were actually growing up, that is the thing that was in their head. At a point, they felt to say, when I sit on a case, a journalist or an individual does not have the right to even question the way I conduct my court proceedings. At a point, Judges were called by the General Legal Counsel about their conduct in court. And when journalists like us sit on TV and on radio to question the conduct of judges, the judges are able to say, hey, but the warrant at all. So that is how low our judiciary has become. And sometimes people forget. Those people who defend such things, they forget to say, this same court will be used against them. So when people like us sit and we start to question the credibility of some of our judges in Ghana, it is not personal. It is because of their conduct. It is because of what they do. It is because of the way they conduct themselves and how they treat people before them. I can take you back to Opuni's case. Justice Jackson Hunyuiga sat in court. Somebody purged himself. The judge said, let us go and come back. I will punish. And yet the person who has purged himself under oath, that is our legal system today. We live in a country where a whole Supreme Court had to go to UK to bring some black book to judge our elections. That is how low our judiciary has come. And it is not me. It is not about a judge sitting somewhere thinking that a young man like myself criticizing their actions and the way they conduct themselves in court. It is not about me. It is about we making sure the system works, making sure the people we have given, and yet that to me say among India some court, those people are doing what is right. Because if you don't have the right to criticize you as a judge, then it means we are giving you the free room, the free will to do damage. And that is what some judges want. They want to be democratically autocratic in Ghana. Listen, some judges in Ghana want to be democratically autocratic. They hide under the umbrella of judiciary to intimidate journalists, to intimidate open-minded criticism, and to intimidate the system. That is the pain that some people think that they can force on us in Ghana. So you get young judges who are so politically ambitious, who think they can do things to please political opponents, to put people in jail. And their conduct, their utterances clearly shows that they are rushing through cases. They are trying to please some people's ego. When we question their actions and their attitude, those judges become jittery and become pompous, and they think they can use the same office that we have given them to intimidate we, the people who have made them who they are. No, it is not going to work. And that is what I have been talking about years over years. Kennedy Agyapong sat on national television to tell a sitting judge live on national TV that you are warned. Warn a sitting judge. The Chief Justice then, Eni Niabua, kept quiet. To date, Kennedy Agyapong did not pay for any of the utterances against every single judge, or the Supreme Court judges, High Court judges, the deliberate disrespect. So you sit in Ghana and some people think that it is personal. They think that the little power that they have been given, they can use that power to suppress we, the citizenry. We are not ready to quail in. And that does not do anything to us. Because what is right, what is wrong is wrong. And we are not going to move away from the principles and then making sure the right thing is done. We know so many judges in Ghana who were even the first 40 in their classes. They were not part of it, but they wanted to go to Supreme Court. They know themselves. Judge Chebafo is one. In his class as a judge, the 40 first student, brilliant student, 40 students who were considered to be smart, he wasn't even part of it. But he, at a point, wanted to go to the Supreme Court. After coming to meet senior lawyer judges because we have allowed, some of us need to understand, when you are given an opportunity to sit in our courtrooms, with all due respect, you are not God. This is law. Take your feelings out. Take your affiliations out. Take your political affiliation, religious affiliations. Look at the case critically. Look at the evidence presented before you. Be honest to yourself and your God and the people who have invested that power in you. It is not to bully yourself your way through. No, it doesn't work like that. This is 2025, for crying out loud. It is not easy. You cannot just muscle your way through. Until we need to let the people understand. That is why some of us were calling for serious overhauling of our judiciary. And our judiciary needs serious overhauling, because from what we have seen over the years, what we have experienced, the kind of inconsistencies, the consistency in the inconsistencies in our courts now in Ghana, we need to check it or this country will go down. And this government needs to take the most biggest, difficult, bitter pill when it comes to judiciary reforms. Serious reforms needs to be done. We cannot have judges who think or who believe or who in their senses feel too entitled to serve the people. It needs to end. I was say a sucha because we've been to me go to be board dear keke near money 25 years. Na kwasi ampen yi bi mbo krono enko wi abai sika $50 million. Near can't say plea bargain. No, it is not supposed to be like that. Yen to me chigane ninko tu fiase 25 years say or ya hwiase or ya galamse na Chinese nidi eye excavator gina minim etu amena na ade abechi ade beko court say Chinese for ni nyina ahye na jaji atum. That needs to change. We cannot be slaves in our country. No. You, the judges that we have given opportunity and this opportunity to sit in our courtrooms, you are not supposed to turn we, the people who gave you the power, slaves. You can't do that. You need to be conscious about the things you do. Because today, the highest bidder walks in our courtrooms without anything, without shoes, spits shit in any courtroom, and they walk freely. Innocent people plead, get on their knees. We still put them behind bars because there's nobody to pay for them, there's nobody to speak for them. This should tell you something. The judgment Anas Arimiana Anas has gotten, they are very embarrassing about this whole thing was that Agyapong winning defamation case against Anas or Ghana. No, he lifted that same case and brought it to the United States. A jury said that does not really hold. That is a slap in the face of our judiciary. It means that defamation case now Agyapong winning or Ghana, no, basically the evidence that supports the case, no, is flawed. It means judge or tina case or judges our case, that judge is not even supposed to be sitting in our courts again. And I am not saying that all the courts in America are perfect and they are next to God. No, but we are humans. So what the evidence back court with a jury of about 60. That's what to me tenase it to me rubbish a whole judgment. And like the lawyer was saying, when you win a defamation case, when there's a defamation case in another court, that defamation case now we win, it cannot go and defend that defamation case in the next court. Every case is independent, stands on itself, and comes with its own evidence. So we need to get serious. And my message to the president, the new government, is that our court needs overhauling. Our court needs to be overhauled. We need serious reforms. I will say reform your courts. The leadership, if they are not ready to work, we the people are willing to get people who are willing to work. I don't hate anybody. Yet now Ghana, a whole chief justice, a lawyer went to court and claimed that the chief justice had paid or taken $5 million bribe from a citizen in Yabua till date. This lawyer, who basically was reporting his client's statement, was haunted. A whole judiciary system was turned against a lawyer who was trying to get the truth out. And you all know NK say enin yabo akwaje $5 million or send the client Eka say enin yabo aje $5 million on her, and the lawyer was just reporting what his client had told him. The lawyer ended up at the wrong side. The whole judiciary was set up against the lawyer. This lawyer went to the General Legal Counsel. The Chief Justice Enin Yabua then made sure he used the General Legal Counsel led by Sam Okujato to frustrate the system. This is where we are. I spent almost $300,000 to fight Agyapong in federal court in America. $300,000. That is how much I spent. 4 lawyers, 2 backup, 2 face lawyers. Almost $300,000. All because I am using the facts to prove to Ghanaians that things happening in Ghana are lies. The politicians are manipulating the system. Some people are using fake news, misinformation, and people are suppressing the system. almost for $300,000. I won the case for every single journalist in Ghana, every single journalist in Africa. Anas has won a groundbreaking case, defamation case, for journalists in Ghana, journalists around the world, journalists across Africa. But you get the same journalists, some of them in Ghana, ganging up against Anas. With all due respect, let me tell you, I am not here to defend Anas. Anas is human. He has his flaws. If you know Anas has done something or a crime against you, you have the right to take Anas to court. That is what I represent. But as far as I know, the allegations that were posed, the allegations that were mounted on Anas, the things that Anas was being tagged with, in court today, it has proven, or court has proven, say, none of the allegations against Anas, those allegations Agyapong made, Anas being a thief, Anas being a murderer, Anas being a serial killer, Anas being a criminal, a co-conspirator, and all that, today in a court in New Jersey, a superior court, they are saying none of those things had basis. That is what I am looking at. I am not here to hold Anas' hand to heaven, because Anas is friend in Yankopon mini. Whatever Anas does, I have never been in any of Anas's meetings. My job here is to speak to the fact and what is on paper and what we know. And so you might have your own personal issues with Anas. It's his problem. It's your problem. If you have the legal means to go after him, go after him. But from what I know here, whatever was said against Anas at the end of the day has been proven that he is not guilty of the allegations of being a murderer, a thief, a criminal, a co-conspirator, and all that. At least we know, the world knows today, that whatever Agyapong said was a lie. That is what I'm looking at. So if you have an issue with me and saying, Anas, that you are protecting, I am not protecting Anas. I've not been able to protect myself. How do I protect Anas? But I will defend Anas with the fact, because at least from court, we know around the world that Anas Arimya Anas is not a murderer. He's not a killer. Anas is not a liar. He's not a thief. Those are the basics you need to understand. And anything I make a will say, that afraid now or what Massachusetts may sue $10 million. I want to send a message to you, those people in America. Mochi Maika, Mochi Mufuna, Namotemoka, Motatam, Mokakankwasiasem. I want to use that afraid to send a message. I never wanted to talk about this because we have moved quite deep. But me the dad Fred, me the number set example. I would take everything he owns in America and give it out for charity. Me na make a chirebo. A dear be waba America say $1. Meje na me charity. Because I want to set the rules. You per se a clean system, no. So what time will be in church also can't trot so. That's why when I sit here, I back every single statement I make with facts. Because when you say people's credibility are on the line. I can't just come sit here and make allegations without having the fact. And anytime I can't say, say you can go to court and I'll come and respond. Like Williams and Nefi Sapon, I have sat here on countless occasions to tell him, go to court. This is how it's supposed to be done. Ghana for Munshia be free. Nobody should dare sit on any TV or radio in Ghana around the world to say Anas is a murderer. You go to jail because there's a court ruling. Anas is a thief. You go to jail because there's a court ruling. You need to prove beyond reasonable doubt that what you are saying, you have the fact. In more America, no. So I brand a friend that afraid, no. Now me change my way and maybe activate the case be. Now me activate the case now. I will make sure the other tongue everything he said about the judge who ruled on my case against Kennedy, every misinformation he put out there against the United States court, all the number of times he came on air to lie, we have all the tapes. Now me change a DB. And remember American have funinipa. And I will use that afraid as the first goat. Catch and I'm going to sue for 10 million. Maybe Massachusetts. I'll come there. I'm going to sue there, the Massachusetts Supreme Court. I will sue there. And I want you to come and prove in some social media. On say, Anas the case, you know,